The Star Wars universe is known for having some truly evil and twisted villains, from Emperor Palpatine to Dr. Evazan. But there was one character who likely took the cake when it came to just how terrifying and heartless they were toward their victims. His name was Pekt, a Trandoshen who flourished during the Imperial era. Being born to a wealthy clan on his home world of Trandoshen, Pekt showed signs of sadism and psychopathy early on over his treatment of his family's servants. He would often restrain and torture them purely out of joy, conducting cruel experiments on them that appeared to have no purpose beyond serving as entertainment for himself. Later in his life, following his clan's capture of Wookiee prisoners of war, Pekt continued his cold-blooded experiments, this time maximizing the pain tolerance of the hairy beasts that were unfortunate enough to fall within his claws. Skinning them alive just for the fun of it was another thing he did, a level of cruelty that even made some of his fellow Trandoshans show signs of concern, despite them having a reputation for brutality themselves. At one point, a Wookiee he was torturing broke free of his restraints and ripped Pekt's arms off, to which the Trandoshan reacted only with a cold, dead stare in return to his attacker, simply unfazed to having his limbs torn off. Such an indifferent reaction left the Wookiee attacker stunned, long enough for him to be killed by nearby guards before he could escape. While having his arms ripped off delayed any more experiments Pekt was able to conduct for some time, thanks to his species' regenerative abilities, he was able to fully regrow his arms without incident. When he recovered, Pekt went on to create several devices that both served to trap and enslave Wookiees by torturing them into submission. Following the rise of the Galactic Empire, Pekt had garnered a reputation as a Wookiee exterminator, with rumors going about that he could wipe out entire villages on Kashyyyk in under a week. Once the Empire started to subjugate Kashyyyk and enslave the Wookiee population for their weapon projects, Pekt was hired to oversee their operations. His cruelty and effectiveness were noted by the Imperial Moff who ruled over the sector, who in turn created a deal between Pekt and the other Trandoshan slavers, which gave them full impunity on the Wookiee homeworld as long as they met their criteria in enslaving the population. With this newfound power of becoming essentially a lord over certain Kashyyyk cities, Pekt increased his cruel experiments on the furry beasts, with no limits to how brutal they could be. He later aided the Empire in developing orbital stations to increase slave transportation off-world. However, both the Empire and Pekt's hold over the Wookiees came to an end shortly after the Battle of Endor, when New Republic forces came to liberate Kashyyyk from their Imperial overlords. Pekt died following the destruction of one of the orbital slave transports that he helped create, with news of his demise sparking celebrations in parts of Kashyyyk he had ruled over. As to many, he was a devil who had infected their lands with his exceptionally cruel and brutal treatment of the Wookiees.